Welcome back, foolish mortals, to the Disney Life Happy Wife podcast. I am Kristen, your host, and this is another Oldie But Goodie episode. This is Oldie But Goodie episode number 28, which was originally recorded and broadcasted, I think it was late summer of 2022. So about almost 3 years ago. That's crazy to me that it was almost 3 years ago. So looking at my old episodes, after this one, we only have 2 more Oldie But Goodie episodes until we are back to brand new episodes, and I can't wait. Spoiler alert, our very first new episode, Emily and I are going to talk about the latest Disney movie release, Lilo and Stitch. So I'm super excited for you guys to hear that and hear what we think about Lilo and Stitch. So like I said, 2 more episodes, Oldie But Goodie episodes after this. And this episode was a long-awaited movie review. And I had said in previous episodes how I was going to get Emily to come and do a movie review with me. And unfortunately, she's not in this movie review. I know it's hard to believe. What's a movie review on the Disney Life Happy Wife podcast without Emily? Because I love to get her opinions on Disney movies. But I guess I couldn't get her down to do a movie review with me or review these movies with me. So, is what it is. She was, I think, 7 years old at that point. So, is what it is. So, in this episode, I review 3 new movies at the time, Disney movies, very different movies as well. So, it's kind of a wide array of movies. So, I review the movie Turning Red, the new Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers movie, not the cartoon from back in the 90s. This was the new, I want to say part live action, part CGI animation movie, and the Marvel movie Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. So it was cool to be able to do 3 very different types of movies and talk about those on the podcast. I love doing that. I can't wait to talk about more Marvel characters, Marvel movies, stuff like that. I'm a big Marvel fan. So I can't wait to do more of that too. So now I want to say that my opinions on these movies are my opinion and my opinion alone. If you don't agree with them, if you do agree with them, if you're like, whoa, Kristen, you're way off base, let me know. Feel free to, send me a DM or a message on social media or email me and let me know what you think of what I have to say about these 3 movies. And I know this was a few years ago, but still, if you're like, hey, I don't agree with what you're saying there, let me know. If you're like, hey, great point, let me know. Okay? So DM me or message me on social media. I have all the information in the show notes, but I'm on Facebook and Instagram at Disney Life Happy Wife Podcast, all one word, or you can email me at dlhwpodcast@gmail.com. Okay, so there's all my info on how to get in touch with me. So let me know what you think of my reviews and also of this Oldie But Goodie episode. I love to hear from you guys and hear what you guys think. So let me know, and I hope you enjoyed the episode. So sit back, relax, enjoy this Oldie But Goodie episode of the Disney Life Happy Wife podcast, and I'll see you real soon.
Welcome, foolish mortals. There's no turning back now.
That's right. Welcome, foolish mortals. There is no turning back now. And why would you want to? I mean, come on. You definitely want to listen to this podcast. So how's everybody doing today? I hope that you're having an amazing week so far and that this podcast is just the icing on the cake that is your week. And if you're having a bad week, I hope that this podcast brings you a little bit of joy, makes you smile a little bit, makes you think a little bit, and that makes your week a little bit better. So that'd be great. You are listening to the Disney Life Happy Wife podcast. I am your host with the most. I'm Kristen. And you know me, if it's a Disney life, then I'm a happy wife. So I know, you guys are going to say, where have you been? So long time no talk, right? It has been a hot minute since the last time I put out an episode. And I know I've said I'm going to get better and I'm going to keep putting out more episodes and there's going to be less time in between. But you know what, people? Life has just gotten in the way. Hopefully with Emily starting school next week, I will be able to put out more episodes, every week. I'll be able to do a weekly or bi-weekly episode, which would, ultimately be the dream. But we'll see. Like I said, life gets in the way. I have a very active 7-year-old, soon to be 8-year-old. She's going to be 8 in like 4 months, less than 4 months, which is crazy. She's starting 2nd grade and she's taking dance and she's doing gymnastics and woof, I am just going to be one busy mama. But I promise you, I will put out more episodes, whether it is every week, bi-weekly, once a month. I promise more episodes. I promise. So I know in the last episode, I said that in this episode, I would be talking about some Disney movie reviews and I would be talking with Emily. Well, if you think I'm busy trying to pin my 7-year-old down, I've asked her numerous times, hey, Emmy, do you want to record a podcast with mommy and talk about some new Disney movies and everything and see what you thought and tell everybody what you thought? And, she was like, yeah. And then I'm like, okay, let's go set up and let's record. And she's like, no, every time. So, well, there you have it, folks. So trying to pin her down is a little bit difficult at times. So I'm glad that I could get the time to be here with you guys and give you my thoughts on these movies. So hopefully I'll be able to get her opinion on some of them, but for now it's just me. So there we go. Now, new Disney movies. So on this podcast, as you guys know, I talk about all things Disney. It's not just Disney parks, not just Disney travel, not just Disney toys, not just Disney clothes, not just Disney movies. I talk about all things Disney. New Disney news, everything. If it's Disney related, I'm going to talk about it. So we've done movie reviews before. I love talking about the brand new Disney movies. So what better than to talk about some new Disney movies with you guys now? So I had said that I was going to bring Emily in for this, but like I said, she's hard to pin down. So let's just jump right into these movie reviews. So movie review time. We're going to be talking about today. We're going to talk about the new Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers, Turning Red, and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. So we're going to talk about those 3. So when I talk with Emily about it, we will not be talking about Doctor Strange because she has not seen any of the Avengers movies yet. But I will talk to her about Chip 'n Dale and Turning Red. So let's jump right in and let's talk about Turning Red first. So Turning Red. Okay, let's see. According to the synopsis that they have on Disney Plus, Turning Red. Disney and Pixar's Turning Red introduces Mei Lee, a confident, dorky 13-year-old torn between staying her mother's dutiful daughter and the chaos of adolescence. Her protective, if not slightly overbearing mother Ming is never far from her daughter, an unfortunate reality for the teenager. And as if changes to her interests, relationships, and body weren't enough, whenever she gets too excited, which is practically always, she poofs into a giant red panda. Oh boy. Now that sounds like a fun movie, I have to say. So, first initial thoughts on after we saw it. Emily loved the movie. I really liked it. I thought it was a really good movie. So this movie deals with puberty. I'll just throw that out there. It deals with puberty and the changes teenage girls go through when they're going through that stage of life. I mean, it is an inevitability that every single person will go through puberty. It just happens. It's the way that things are. So there's hormones. For young ladies, it's getting their period, everything. And poor May has to deal with all of that and turning into a giant red panda. I think the panda coincides with her, coming of age and, biologically becoming a woman and all of the things that young girls have to go through when they hit puberty, when they start going through those changes. So I think the red panda is definitely, a byproduct of that. So this movie is set, I'm going to stop before I finish that sentence. If you're not paying attention, you may not know, but if you really pay attention, this movie is set in the 90s or the early 2000s. It's the time when boy bands were all the rage. And that was, when I was growing up, I loved boy bands when I was little. I say little, when I was a teenager. So I love that they show that. I love that they have May's love of boy bands as such a huge center in this movie. I think it's great to show that. It's just so funny to watch, teenage girls be so obsessed and so much in love with these boy bands and these musicians from these bands. It's so funny to watch, and it just brings back nostalgia for me. I was a huge boy band fan when I was, 15 to whatever years old. I loved the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC and New Kids on the Block, or NKOTB as they're now called. I loved them all. I loved Hanson, everybody. So I thought it was really cool that May and her friends were such big boy band fans and that they loved the boy band in the movie. I thought that was really cool. I also really liked the closeness between May and her friends, as well as the family ties as well. How things can change in a family dynamic as kids grow. I liked that Disney touched upon that because things don't always stay the same. You're a child and, you want to be around your parents all the time and you love your parents and all of that. And then you kind of grow into a teenager and you want to be with your friends and you want to love what you love, no matter who says anything and no matter what anybody else thinks. And just seeing the changes that families go through and you can see the hardship between May and her mom Ming as they're kind of figuring this world out. Ming still wants to be kind of the center of May's world, and that's not what her life is about anymore. So it's really cool that they touched upon that. When this movie came out, there was a lot of controversy about this movie due to the talk of changes that girls go through. So like I said, this movie does touch upon puberty and changing, as you get into your teen years. And the fact that there was so much controversy about it is crazy to me. Absolutely crazy. Being a woman myself and having gone through those changes, being a young girl and seeing that, it's okay, you change, your body changes and everything, that could have been so empowering to have a movie like that when I was younger. And did it raise any questions for my daughter and I, when we were watching this movie? Did it raise any questions for her about, what that means? Maybe a couple, and I would answer them as best I could that she could understand at 7 years old. And was it an issue with her? Has she harped on it and brought it up a whole ton since? No, absolutely not. I'm very open with the way that our bodies are and the changes that we have to go through and the way that things are with my daughter. I don't want her to fear that. I don't want things to happen and her to be scared about it. I want her to always know that she can come and talk to me no matter what happens. So it's good to have that open and honest relationship. And I think, having those kind of conversations and having that kind of relationship with your kids, that should be what every parent strives for. You shouldn't necessarily be sitting there protecting your kids from absolutely everything. You need to let them know and you need to keep them informed because, how will they go through life if they're not informed about that? Don't hide things from your kids. Yeah, it might be an uncomfortable conversation, but you got to have it, A good example of that, and it's kind of going away from the movie a little bit, but Em asked me where babies come from. And I point blank said to her, Em, this was probably a couple of years ago. Babies come from, mommy's tummy and stuff like that. And she asks, how does the baby get there? All this. And I said to her, that's probably a conversation that's best had when you're a little bit older and you can understand it a little bit better. And you know what she said to me? Okay, that's it. So, I mean, I think having those open and honest conversations with your kids is always a good thing. If you're having those kind of conversations, then having a movie like this isn't going to completely freak them out. Was my daughter freaked out about this movie? No, she thought it was a great movie. She loved May as her giant red panda. She loved how silly she was. She loved May with her friends and how silly they were. She had no qualms whatsoever about the underlying, this is, the changes that girls go through. She saw nothing with that. She only saw this cool girl in her mind, this cool girl who loved what she loved and had great friends and had a good family and all of that. She saw that. She didn't think anything else of it. So do I think that there should be all this controversy about this movie? No, I don't. That's where I stand. So there you go. So for Turning Red, I highly recommend it. I think it's a really good movie. I think it's super funny and really cute. Animation is great. I love May. Yeah, and I think it's awesome. So I think that you should go see it. It's on Disney Plus. Go check it out. And yeah, that is all I have to say about that. So next, we're going to talk about the brand new Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers movie. Boy, do I have a lot to say about this. So we're going to start up with the synopsis that they have on Disney Plus. So a comeback 30 years in the making. Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers catches up with the former Disney afternoon television stars in modern-day Los Angeles. In this hybrid live-action / CGI animated action comedy, Chip 'n Dale are living amongst cartoons and humans in modern-day Los Angeles, but their lives are quite different now. It has been decades since our successful television series was canceled, and Chip has succumbed to a life of suburban domesticity as an insurance salesman. Dale, meanwhile, has had CGI surgery and works the nostalgic convention circuit, desperate to relive his glory days. When a former castmate mysteriously disappears, Chip and Dale must repair their broken friendship and take on their Rescue Rangers detective personas once again to save their friend. Well, there you have it. So that's what it's about. So thoughts on, what we thought. So when I ask Emily what she thinks about this, she always flip-flops between she likes it, she doesn't like it, she likes it, she doesn't like it. And she tells me, what she likes and doesn't like about it. Here's my thought. I did not like this movie. Now, there are very few movies that Disney puts out that I don't like, that I hands down do not like. This movie is one of them. Hands down, do not like. If you're a follower of mine on Instagram, as of today while I'm recording this, I had just posted on my stories, you can also see it in the highlights if you check them out, that I just got a brand new Loungefly mini backpack that's Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers. And I love it. It's the cartoon from way back in the 90s when I was a kid, and it was great. I was so excited to get it. So when I found out that they were going to do this movie, I was so excited. I was beyond excited. I have loved Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers since I was a little kid. I have always loved Chip 'n Dale. As a child, I always thought that they were brothers, Chip and Dale. I thought they were brothers, and if you check it out online, the original creator of Chip and Dale always thought of Chip and Dale as brothers. They didn't think of them as best friends, as this new movie portrays. The original creator pictured them as brothers. So that's the way that I always thought of them, as two little brothers. So I always said that, when we were growing up, that my sister and I were Chip and Dale. I kind of always, my brain always thought they're brothers. Oh, they must be twins. And that my sister and I were Chip and Dale. She was Chip, I was Dale, it's just the way that we were. She was the the kind of more, I don't want to say serious because she's not like super serious, but she was the kind of the more reserved one. She'd kind of hang back a little bit. And I was a bit more of the goofy one, and I would kind of always test my limits a little bit. And she would kind of hang back to see what I did. And if I got in trouble, she knew she wasn't supposed to do it. But that's beside the point. So I have loved Chip and Dale since I was a little kid, and the original Rescue Rangers cartoon was and still is one of my favorites. Chip and Dale teaming up with Gadget, Monty, and Zipper to fight back against the bad guys like Fat Cat and Professor Nimnol. And of course that theme song, oh man. Like, I'm not going to sing it right now, but it's literally playing in my head. And if you're a fan of the cartoon, you know what what that theme song is. And when, like I said, when I heard they were going to do a reboot of this and make it a movie, I was pumped. In my brain, I'm thinking, okay, Chip and Dale, maybe they'll give them a little CGI vibe, which I had no problem with. Maybe they'll give them a little CGI vibe or like update that cartoon, make it look pretty cool, and then have Chip, Dale, Gadget, Monty, and Zipper fighting crime and having this big adventure, you know, on a larger scale. And I was so excited. I could not wait for this movie. And then the movie came out. We watched it as a family. And it destroyed all my hopes. Destroyed. Like, there's just no other way to say it. It destroyed all of my hopes for that. So, this movie is a satire. It's a satire of, you know, the Disney afternoon cartoons. And it portrays the cartoon as a show. Chip and Dale and the others were just mere actors for a TV show. They weren't, you know, their own characters that everybody knew and loved growing up. The voices were way off because the voices that they made for the cartoon were actually made up voices. They threw other cartoons in there. You know, other movie actor or movie characters from Disney, threw them in there and just made fun of them left and right. And you know what? Could Disney have taken this in another way? Yes. Like I said, they could have made the cartoon that I grew up in the 90s with and made it on a larger scale to make an action movie, something like that. But they didn't. And they completely trashed Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. I am heartbroken, I guess is the best way to say it. I am heartbroken for what they did for one of my favorite cartoon series from when I was a kid and now, because I have gotten Emily into watching Rescue Rangers. She loves the cartoon, and you know, we will sing the song together all the time, and we both just love it. And then this movie came out and completely broke my heart. As a diehard Chip and Dale fan, it just broke my heart. That's all I have to say about that. So my recommendation is that I didn't like this movie. I don't recommend it. And like I said, it is very rare for me to say something like that about a Disney movie, but I do not recommend it. If you want to see it, go ahead. That's up to you, but I do not recommend it in the slightest. So let's move on. Let's move on to the last one that we're going to talk about today. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. So in Marvel Studios' Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, the MCU unlocks the multiverse and pushes its boundaries further than ever before. Journey into the unknown with Doctor Strange, who, with the help of mystical allies, both old and new, traverse the mind-bending and dangerous alternate realities of the multiverse to confront a mysterious new adversary. Bum, bum, bum. Oh, thoughts. So what are my thoughts on this? I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I loved this movie. So I'm going to say this before I really start talking about the movie. Parts of this movie will seem like they came out of nowhere. So spoiler alert, if you have not seen WandaVision, I'm going to throw some spoiler alerts at you. I highly recommend you see WandaVision, the series that's on Disney Plus. See WandaVision before you see this movie, because other things, you know, if you just watch this movie, some things will not make sense to you. You'll be like, well, what the heck? Like, where did this come from? If you're just an MCU movie fan, you're going to watch parts of it and go, where did this come from? Why is Wanda being like this? You know, you really need to watch WandaVision before you see this movie. So I'm just going to say that. So Wanda falls into darkness and becomes a Scarlet Witch. She wants to go through the multiverse to be with her sons, which you find out is part of WandaVision. So, like I said, see WandaVision. You may want to watch the series before the movie, like I said. I'm a huge MCU fan. I will flat out say it. I'm not ashamed to say it. I am an MCU fan, a Marvel fan, over Star Wars. I've watched the Star Wars movies. I really liked them, but I am not like all about Star Wars. I am a Marvel fan, hands down. And so yeah. Doctor Strange is easily one of my favorite MCU characters. He's one of my favorite superheroes, Marvel heroes. He's complex, he's smart, he's serious, but he can be really funny at the same time. And the magic he has, the cloak is the best. He's definitely in my top 3 of Marvel heroes. The movie had so much going on, you blink and you might miss something. So I thought it was a awesome movie. So much action, so much going on. They introduced new characters. I mean, obviously you see Doctor Strange and all of that, and you see some old characters that you know and love from the other movies. But then you get introduced in when Doctor Strange goes through the multiverse and into this new dimension, this new reality. You see him with other superheroes, and these superheroes are ones that we have not met yet, which is putting in my MCU Marvel brain that there's going to be more movies. They're going to connect things. Like we saw John Krasinski as one of the guys from the Fantastic Four, whose name I am not remembering at the moment. I'm going to kick myself for not remembering. Reed, I want to say his name is. Yeah, I can't remember. But we saw him, and I know that there has been talks, whether it's actually going to happen or not. I know there have been talks about doing a brand new Fantastic Four. So that would be great. And we also saw Professor X from X-Men. Charles Xavier, who I was so excited about that. As soon as he came, I was like, oh my gosh. So hopefully they're going to start tying Marvel, all of the Marvel characters together. So maybe they'll start tying the X-Men into the movies as well. So that would be really great to see. So I loved this movie. My recommendation, I really, really liked it. If you want to see this movie, I really, really recommend seeing WandaVision first, because some of the things will just not make sense if you don't see it. So go see WandaVision. It's a great show. I loved it. I love Wanda and Vision. So this was really, really cool for me. I'm a huge Marvel fan. So go see WandaVision, then see Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. You will not be sorry. It was a great, great movie. So there we have it. My 3 movie reviews. So Turning Red, highly recommend it. Definitely go see it. Go see it with an open mind too. Don't be like, oh my gosh, they talk about this. I don't want to see that. No, go see it. It's a good movie. Have an open mind. Go see it. Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers. Don't see it. I mean, go see it if you really want to, but I don't recommend it. If you're a huge Rescue Rangers fan, and this will probably just make you sad. I don't know. I don't recommend it. So there we go. And Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Definitely see it. I recommend seeing WandaVision first. So go watch WandaVision and then watch Doctor Strange. So there we have it. That is this episode for this week. I know it's kind of a shorter episode, which is fine. Usually my episodes are between a half an hour to 45 minutes to an hour sometimes, but that's where we go. So I'm going to throw some shout outs out there. I know I usually do that at the beginning, or I have been. So something that I had talked about when I was talking about Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers, one of my newest obsessions is the Disney Loungefly mini backpacks. I absolutely love them. I just got my Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers one in today. I am obsessed. Where I record this podcast is actually in my bedroom at my desk. And right now I'm looking over at the wall at one of my windows, and I'm going to be doing kind of a border around the window with my Loungefly backpacks. And I'm looking at them right now. I have a Peter Pan, I have Baymax, I have a 50th anniversary Walt Disney World, I have a Wall-E, and I have a Lady and the Tramp. I am a big fan of the classic Disney movies, so I love having all of those. So Rescue Rangers is definitely in the classics for me. Of course, I'm going to get a Little Mermaid one. Ariel's my favorite princess, and a Mickey and Minnie one eventually. I mean, Mickey's front and center on my 50th anniversary one, but there we go. So I got the ones that I have. I got most of them from Hot Topic. I got one from Box Lunch. I just got my new one from Pink a la Mode. So I am super excited. If you sign up with, to get emails and everything from them, you'll also sometimes get some discounts, which is what I look for. And I know the past couple of times when I've gotten a Hot Topic, one of them from Hot Topic, they also send you a code for $15 off your next purchase of $50 or more. So that's always a good deal. So buy a $50 backpack and get $15 off of that. So come on. Yeah. So there we have it. So I'm going to send a big shout out to Loungefly, Hot Topic, Box Lunch, and Pink a la Mode. Go check them out. Go check out the backpacks. You will not be sorry. You'll probably get addicted to them just like me. They will probably become your new obsession. So obviously you are listening to me wherever you listen to podcasts. You can find me on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. I guess pretty much anywhere that you can find podcasts, you can find me. Yeah, you can even find me on my blog, which is DisneyRoadymom.com. So Disney, RHODYMOM.com. You can find a link to my podcast there. So yeah, anywhere you can really listen to podcasts, you can listen to me. So if for some reason you need a different place to listen, I'm everywhere. So go listen, give me a review, subscribe wherever you can listen, all the things. If you want to get in touch with me, if you're like, hey, Kristen, I've got this great idea for a podcast episode, I think you should talk about this, shoot me an email. So my email is DLHW podcast. So like Disney Life, Happy Wife, DLHW podcast @gmail.com. Shoot me an email with if you have any topics, if you have any comments about what you've heard. I want to know what you think of these movies. If you went out and you saw them, I watched them all on Disney Plus, but if you saw them all, and I want to know what you think of them, because you're knowing what I think, I want to know what you think. So shoot me an email and let me know. You can also, anywhere you listen, you can post a review, all of that. I want to hear. I want to hear everything you have to say. You can also find me on social media. I am on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. Twitter I'm not on quite as much, but you can still find me at DLHW podcast on Twitter. On Instagram and Facebook, you can find me at Disney Life Happy Wife podcast. All one word. Okay, so Disney Life Happy Wife podcast. It's a big one. It's long, but there you go. So you can find me on Instagram, on Facebook, and on Twitter. I also do have a YouTube channel where most of the times I will post the podcast there as well. I'll take videos. This week, for this episode, I did not do a video just because I am in the process of doing some cleaning and stuff in my room, and things are a little bit messy. So I was like, yeah, I don't want to do a video today. So no video. You don't get to see my face, but you get to hear me. So there you go. You can still go to YouTube and listen. So there we go. So that is it for today's episode. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for listening. You all know that this means so much to me. I love being able to talk Disney with you guys. And knowing that you are out there listening just makes everything so, so much better. And I love being able to bring my love of Disney to everybody. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Can't wait to bring you a new episode, hopefully next week, if not the week after. So there we go. Again, thank you. Have a magical week, everybody. and I'll see you real soon.
Now I and a ghost will follow you home.
Hurry back, hurry back.